welcome to my channel. Tonight, we are going to tell the entire story of Greek mythology, every god, monster, and hero all at once. But this is boring history, so we won't do it fast or excitedly or dramatically. We will be as uninteresting as possible, so if you want to go to sleep, then let's begin. If you're trying to fall asleep but can't quite get your mind to shut up, then maybe try listening to one of these ultra-boring stories. Now lie down and close your eyes. Take some nice, slow, deep breaths. Imagine all the stress of the day leaving your body with each breath. Now I'll begin. Tonight, we'll slowly explore the sleepy tales of ancient Greece. There won't be any exciting monsters or battles, just calm stories to drift off to. To the beginning, we start our tale with a big, dark, empty nothing called chaos. It was very still and silent. Then from the stillness, something new arose, a being called Gaia, who was born from the nothing. She was the earth, as she grew little mountains and trees and rivers all over her body, and then she laid down on the ground and fell asleep. But Gaia wasn't alone for long. Soon another new thing appeared, a strong, silent being named Uranus, the sky. He floated up above Gaia and rested himself gently on top of her. They didn't speak, but somehow they knew they were meant to be together. And so they slept peacefully together for a very long time. And after a very long time, Gaia felt something new stir inside her. She felt like she was giving birth, but everything was so slow and silent. Finally, after what felt like forever, a baby was born. And it was a Titan. He had no name yet, but he was strong and tall and wise. And when Gaia saw him, she knew that he would be great. But he was also just a baby, and so he went back to sleep. And Gaia kept having babies like this, again and again, and they were all Titans, strong and wise and very sleepy. 3. The age of the Titans, Kronos was the youngest of the Titans. But even as a baby, he was already struggling. You see, Uranus and Gaia weren't just having babies. They were also making plans about who would rule after them. And Uranus wanted Kronos to rule, but Gaia wasn't sure. She thought Kronos was too much like Uranus. He was strong and silent and kind of floaty. And Gaia liked those traits, but she thought maybe her next baby would be even better. And so she stopped having babies and started thinking about what kind of ruler she wanted next. Meanwhile, Kronos was busy taking care of his older siblings. They were all very different from each other. Some were strong like him. Some were fast like him. And some were beautiful like him. But none of them seemed like good choices for a leader. But Kronos didn't mind. He was patient. He took care of the house and watched his siblings play and made sure everyone got enough to eat and waited for the right moment. And all the while he never complained. He was always polite and helpful and kind, even to baby Zeus. And Zeus appreciated it because even though he was just a baby, he could sense how hard his brother worked. And so he'd smile at Kronos and gurgle happily, and Kronos would smile back and keep taking care of everyone. And that's how it was for a very long time. Everyone just took care of each other and the world around them. The Titans ruled, but mostly they just did chores and watched the world change with the seasons and slept. 4. The Olympians take over one day. Zeus was playing with his siblings near Mount Olympus. They were throwing pebbles at each other, and it was very fun. But suddenly, Zeus felt a powerful urge. He wanted to climb Mount Olympus and sit on its peak. And when he told his siblings about it, they thought it was silly, but they said sure, if that's what he wanted. So they all climbed up the mountain, and Zeus reached the top first. He sat down and looked out at the world. It was so beautiful. He could see everything. And he felt so peaceful. Then Zeus went back to Olympus and told his siblings about it. He said it was the best feeling in the world, and they should come see for themselves. Again, they all thought it was silly, but they agreed to go. And when they all reached the top, they felt the same amazing peace that Zeus had felt. They didn't want to leave. And so Zeus suggested they make their home here, in the sky, on top of Mount Olympus. His siblings agreed, and they all moved in together. Now, their days were very slow and simple. They would wake up early and have a nice breakfast together. They'd talk about how beautiful the world looked from above. Then they'd walk to the edge of the mountain and take long walks along the clouds. Sometimes they'd fly all the way to far-off places. And sometimes they'd just stay on the mountain and watch the world spin beneath them. And as the sun began to set, they'd walk back to their home and have dinner together and talk about the day. Then they'd go to bed and sleep, and they were happy because they were together. That's all they really needed. Sometimes they met other gods from far away, and they told stories and shared gifts and had picnics together. But then the other gods would eventually leave, and the Olympians would just go back to their quiet days. 5 famous myths in sleep mode now. Occasionally something new and exciting happened. One day, Prometheus brought fire to the Olympians, and they loved it. They used it to cook their food and make their homes warmer and brighter. It was nice, but it was also just another thing to add to their routine. Another day, Persephone came to visit. She was the queen of the underworld, and she was very quiet. But the Olympians liked her. They welcomed her and gave her flowers and fruit and smiled at her, and Persephone smiled back. And they all celebrated the seasons as they changed across the world below. And it was a nice, calming experience. And one time Heracles visited. He was famous for his strength and his adventures. And when the Olympians heard stories about him, they thought it sounded exciting, but also kind of stressful. And when they finally met him, they asked him to do some tasks for them, like getting ambrosia or fetching a special flower. And he did these tasks very quickly and very efficiently. It was almost boring how uneventful it was. 6. Lessons without drama. As the years passed, many interesting things happened, but none of them were particularly exciting or life-changing. The Olympians continued to rule calmly and silently. And because nothing much ever happened, they never learned any big lessons. However, if you listen closely, you can hear a few. Like sometimes patience is best, like it's okay to be kind to your siblings, like it's important to take care of the world around you, and like it's okay to accept what happens. 7. Transition to sleep now. As the years passed, the Olympians grew very old. Their hair turned silver, and their faces turned wrinkled and tired. But they didn't mind. This is what happens, they said, and there's nothing else to do about it, so they accepted it. So if you are an Olympian, imagine yourself lying under the Greek sky. Look up and see Mount Olympus bathed in moonlight. Your thoughts are slow and quiet. Your worries melt away. Your body feels heavy and calm. It's easy to close your eyes now. Let yourself drift. 8. Closing. Now listen closely. You can hear the soft wind through the trees and the gentle waves on the shore and a quiet harp playing nearby. Let the sounds wash over you and carry you away. The myths of Greece drift quietly into the night. May your sleep be as peaceful as the gods' slow days on Olympus.